Hello, friends. So today I want to talk about the emotional part of holding on to extra fat, extra weight. So maybe this is uncomfortable, but many times, for anybody that's tried to lose weight multiple times and has failed, this is the video for you. I'm going to explain why it's difficult for you to let go of the weight that you so desperately want to let go of, because I know it's uncomfortable. I know personally because I did this for myself. I gained over 60 pounds and lost over 60 pounds. So with struggle, with time, I understand what it's like, but let's get into the emotional reasoning of why we hold on to this weight. So Louise Hay, Heal Your Life book, talks about the emotional reasons for physical ailments. So we have an emotional body. The body and the mind are not separate entities as we've always been taught in Western medicine. Dr. Candace Pert is the one who studied endorphins. She's the one that brought it to the mainstream. She believes that the mind and the body are so connected that she ended up calling it the body-mind. And so we have emotional molecules all throughout the body, but mostly in the gut. So when you feel an emotion, it's not just going on in your brain, you feel it physically. If you've ever had an emotion like stress or anxiety, you don't just feel it in your head. It's not just your head that responds. Suddenly your palms are sweating, you may be shaking, you're sick to your stomach. The emotions are not contained just to the mind. Therefore, we cannot treat physical problems, or especially chronic conditions, as just a physical ailment. It's emotional. Things like you running into a door and stubbing your toe, that's a little bit more physical. But, for example, if you have a broken bone that won't heal, you have a chronic injury, you have a chronic physical ailment, such as not being able to let go of the weight. More emotional. So, Louise Hay, Heal Your Life, she talks about the emotional reasons behind physical ailments. And in here she talks about being overweight as a need for protection. Extra weight is a need for protection. So this is the thing. You're carrying this extra weight that doesn't serve you, that you want to let go of, that you've made efforts to get rid of. But if you are still feeling unsafe in your life, in your body, in your position, it will be very difficult to let go of the weight. For example, for those of us that have had sexual abuse or physical abuse, the weight tends to be a way to protect, to cover, to insulate ourselves from the world. If you deal with constant criticism, another way to insulate, to create space between yourself and the outside. If you are still feeling unsafe, it will be very difficult to release the weight, because emotionally the body is holding on to it to protect you. This goes into the chemical reactions as well. When we feel stress or unsafe, which would be a stress, it's releasing cortisol. It's releasing hormones in the body that's telling the body, whoop, we need to hold on to this. Don't let go of the weight. We are in a stress situation. So before, this stress was momentary. When we were evolving as a species, the stress was the fight or flight response to get us, boom, going when we needed it. For example, if you had an animal chasing you, boom, like you needed that stress, you needed all that energy, you needed that flight or fight response to get us out of there, get us safe as fast as possible, and then we go back to the normal homeostasis of the body. But now the stressors of life have changed. It's not just stress that lasts momentarily, it's your friends that tease you, it's your parents that don't give you a break, that put pressure on you to move forward, it's your past experiences of abuse that you keep bringing up in the mind. It's these stories that we tell ourselves that aren't even real anymore, but we have created pathways in the brain where we continue to bring up stressful events, even if they're not continually in front of us. The reason the brain and the body remembers fear and stress and pain is because it's a survival mechanism. It's to protect us. The body, the mind, we don't like pain. We don't like it. I mean, reasonable, right? But we don't like pain. So we remember pain. We remember fear. We remember unsafety to prevent it from happening again. So these things stick out strongly in our mind. Most of us have had probably 90% of our life is not painful. Otherwise, you would be a very different person. You probably wouldn't have even made it to this point. But because the painful situations are so prominent in our mind, because the mind is designed to remember them, to keep us from having them happen again, they're more prevalent. They become the forefront, and all the good stuff goes to the back. So, staying in this fearful, this fear-based and insecure, feeling unsafe place, continuing to embody these emotions is what is holding the weight on our bodies. It's what's keeping the weight there. So until we find a way to release these fears, to create safety, to feel secure, to feel safe letting go of the weight and shifting our identity, the way we see ourselves, it's going to be very difficult to lose the weight and keep it off. The weight loss will not be an effortless process as it's meant to be. The weight loss will be a struggle. It'll be a battle. It'll be an internal conflict. It'll be the constant, oh, I really want to eat this, but I know I shouldn't. Oh, I really want to do this, but I know I shouldn't. Like, oh, I really need to get to the gym, but I'm so tired. And it'll be the constant back and forth between your mind. Once you feel safe and secure, and you've changed the emotions that are going on in your mind and that are radiating in your body, the weight loss will just be a natural process. It'll just be a positive consequence of the shifts that you made internally. So if you're having a hard time letting go of weight, if you have stubborn weight, I would reckon to say most of the time it's not stubborn weight, it's an unresolved emotion or emotional wound that is keeping the weight on your body. This is my expertise. This is my study. This is what I love doing. I did this for myself. If you have more questions about this, please contact me, and I'm happy to help you and coach you through this. It is a unfamiliar path. It is going to be uncomfortable at times to uncover the layers of the wounds that are inside of us that have created these external problems or external discomforts, let's say. But it's possible. And if you're willing to accept that there will be an uncomfortable period, if you're willing to be brave, to show up for yourself, to go through the discomfort, to reach this new place, to be able to let go of the weight completely and effortlessly, you will be doing yourself a huge favor long run. And this won't just translate just to weight. This will end up rippling out to all aspects of your life. The weight is a symptom of an emotion or an emotional wound. We need to heal this. We need to peel back the layers. We need to shift the identity so you can become this person where it's easy and effortless for you, and remove the layers that are hiding the authenticity, the greatness, the divinity, the purpose, and the love that is inside of you. So, to start, ask yourself if there is some fear, some anxiety that could be keeping the weight on your body. If there's a wound, a fear, an emotion, if there is an identity about being big, if there is an emotional reason behind holding on to the weight. Once you start that self-exploration, you will have better answers and better tools to know what track you need to lead up, like to go down. So if the wound is a abuse from childhood, it's some reparenting, some peeling back the layers, some creating safety and self-trust. If the wound is feeling unworthy, then it's rebuilding worthiness, rebuilding self-trust, it's instilling positive habits, instilling ideas that you're worthy of having your ideal body and your ideal health. So with some self-exploration, we can get to the root cause of the wound that is holding on to the weight. And through practices, we can rebuild and put together the person that is dying to come out of you, the person that is inside that knows that true total health inside and out, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and that knows feeling good is a priority and a practice. We are uncovering that person. So take some time. That's what holding on to the weight is. That's what stubborn weight is. I hope I dispelled a myth for you. To get rid of stubborn weight, I just want to add, is not a magic pill. It is not a magic diet. It is not a magic workout. It is not a 5-minute belly blaster. It is not one of those like electrical things that just no, it's none of those things. It is a conscious reprogramming to reprogram the patterns you've built up over 20, 30 plus years that have created this habit, this lifestyle. Your body composition is based off of your habits. And if your habits inside are fear-based, if they're feeling unsafe, then we're creating habits that are in survival mode, that are packing on the weight. So we need to rebuild habits that create inner peace, that create inner safety, inner worthiness, inner confidence, to be able to shed the weight effortlessly as a positive consequence of the work that you've done internally.